hour. It's a busy one today. We've got our Mags coming in very shortly over at the Riverside Stadium. Boro Women Supporters Group. I'll tell you all about that. And I'm delighted that I've got Maz Boro in the studio. What a legend in the history of Middlesbrough Football Club and Middlesbrough Women. We'll hear all about it very, very soon.
You're listening to the Boro Women Hour, brought to you by My Marketing Button. Your marketing plan in your pocket.
This is the Red.
Right, just before we get going, we must say that well done to Boro Women. First win of the season on Sunday, 1-0, Olivia Watts scoring. Great to get the home campaign off to a flying start. And we'll have full commentary tomorrow night from 7 because they're going up to Durham Sestria for a cup game. And who doesn't love a cup game? And I'm quite sure that they will be emulating the men's team from their Carabao Cup win last night. Not a bad start, Maz, to the home campaign?
Fantastic, yeah. Great. 2 good results, obviously, for the women and the men's as well. But yeah, very good.
Right, do we have mags yet?
We don't, not quite
We don't have mags yet, so I'll crack on and I will introduce Maz to you. So, wow. So CV in a bit is this. So Maz, she is actually one of the genuine, she's probably be cursing me for saying this, she's one of the genuine pioneers of women's football, and particularly on Teesside. Born in Middlesbrough, founding member of Cleveland Spartans, which then became Middlesbrough Women. She played for the club for 22 years, represented England, and then managed them, that's Middlesbrough Women, not England, for 16 years. The first female Middlesbrough player to play for England, and has got the England women's legacy number of 47. So her story stretches back. I mean, it's a period when women's football really, really, really wasn't what it is now. And I'm quite sure, and we will get into this, I'm sure there was potentially hostility, lots and lots of challenges along the way. A bit different to what we get now with the Lionesses and with the WSL and with women's football in general. I mean, Boro Women are now, they're part of Middlesbrough Football Club. So, Maz, welcome and thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you. So,
take me back right to the beginning. How did football actually become part of your life?
From when I was able to walk, or at least that's what my parents told me. Yeah, just running about all the time. My mother died when we were. I have 3 sisters. My mother died when we were all youngish. I was about 11, but apparently she used to play when she was younger as well. But just like with the brothers. But it's just been there forever and ever. It's like anybody would say who does play football. It's just natural. It's there, and you've always done it, and you can't understand anybody who doesn't.
I always say that. I can't understand why people say, "Oh, I don't like football."
Yeah,
I'm sorry. There's nothing in life that gives you that high or that low, I think.
Well, we certainly don't think so, do we?
No, absolutely not. So you grew up obviously in Middlesbrough.
Yeah, Victoria Road, Middlesbrough. I'm a townie, and obviously we could and did play in the streets all the time.
Did you actually when did you get the opportunity to play? Obviously you played in the street. Was there any form of organised football that you could take part in?
I wasn't aware of anything to do with girls or women, but I could play at school. I went to Sacred Heart School on Ayrsham Street, and of course it overlooked Ayrsham Park, which we could see from the windows. And I used to play there with the boys, and I was asked at one time by the teachers, whoever was doing the football, because I used to go to all the games as well, if I wanted to play. It was probably what they call year 6 now, and I know people won't understand this and they'll say no way, but I was too shy at the time. I wouldn't do it. I went along and watched, but it was just mainly boys, and although they were all my friends, I didn't feel confident enough to play against other teams, which were mainly all boys as well. So I didn't actually play then. But as far as organised and girls' leagues, no opportunities till I was 19.
Oh, gosh.
I know, so I'm nearly a third of my life had gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, of course, you know, the girls start with organised teams at, well, you get under 8s, under 6s.
Oh,
and,
yes, 5s and 6s now. It's great to see. Absolutely great, yeah.
No, it is. It's amazing. It's changed an awful lot. We will talk about that. So what did your mum, before you lost her, and then your dad, what did they think, but your dad probably, when your career really took off, what did they think about you playing football?
There was, my dad was proud, obviously. We started going to Ayresome Park before I actually found a women's team anyway. I used to go with my dad. So although he came after the war, he was Polish. Obviously, he was here longer than he ever was in Poland. I think he joined the army when he was about 15 or 16, said he was older. Then he came to England, met my mum. And he was a Boro fanatic as well. We actually tortured him about it. And he was tortured by the Boro because, as we all know, long-standing fans, it's ups and downs.
Absolutely.
But I have to say I was really pleased. I was able to take him to the 1990 Zenith Data Cup final at Wembley. And then it was later years that he died, but it was great to be able to take him there.
Yeah, to actually see the Boro. I know it
At
wasn't
Wembley.
the result.
Yeah.
It's never the result we want at Wembley. But that's absolutely amazing. And was your mum a Boro girl then?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and that was how they met.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Right, we'll have a quick break just to have a quick chat with Mags.
Oh.
Are you there, Mags?
Hello, can you hear me? Hi. Hello.
Hi, Mags.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, Mags.
Hi, me okay?
Yeah, we've got you. Have you got us?
Yes, all good. We're live at the Riverside.
What
Here
are
we
you
go. We're
doing?
all here.
What are you doing down
Let's
there?
have a wave. We're all waving. Hi, good evening. So this is the pre-launch of the Boro Women Supporters Group. So we've got an amazing crowd down here at the Riverside tonight. Very excited. So we thought before we do anything kind of formal, although we've had our buffet, we wanted to check in with you.
Food came first, obviously, before us.
Yeah, totally.
So tell us the thinking behind it, Mags.
Yeah, so what we're looking to do is set up an official supporters group for the women's team. So we've got some amazing people that come to the matches that are fans, and some new faces as well, just so that we can kind of really have some more kind of structured and support for the women's team, because they've been amazing. They've got such a bright future. So we want to really do all we can to get behind them.
And obviously you've got a group down there now, and you're talking about what you're going to do and everything, but I'm quite sure that there's a lot of people listening will want to know exactly how they can get involved, or at least very much how they can join and be a part of it. So how can they do that? How are you going to spread the word?
Absolutely. So we're going to be setting up some dedicated socials for the supporters group. At the moment, we're going to be channeling any communications through the Her Game 2 socials for Boro. But we're going to be setting up those social media channels within the next month or so. And also to keep your eyes open, because we will be having another event at the Riverside on the 13th of October. So that's another opportunity for other people to come down and check it out. So for the moment, that's where we are, but we will be setting those channels up so people can communicate. And also the other way is get down to the matches. I'll be there every home and away game on commentary, with the Red. So come and find us and we can chat at the matches.
Yeah, because, there's so many dedicated supporters groups in and around the club. It's the next progression, isn't it? And certainly it is for Boro Women, because it's growing, the crowds are growing, the interest's growing, and they've got the first win under the belt, they've got the cup game tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. So it's really a natural progression that there is their own supporters club.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, it's safe to say, we are one club. Absolutely. So I think it's great that we'll be able to have that kind of, when you look at the Middlesbrough site, we'll be able to see all the supporters groups and one dedicated, to the women's team. So I think it is about that kind of whole inclusion, one club, and, yeah, celebrating all of that. So really important.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Mags. Hope you have a brilliant night. Say hello
We are so excited, honestly.
Say hello to
This is like
everybody
the closest I'll get to being
from Maz and myself.
Honestly, Caroline.
And Danny.
I know, Caroline. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to feel like I was on kind of sort of the Eurovision Song Contest, you know, phoning in with results and being live. This is the closest I'm ever going to get.
It is. But what you can bring me, Mags, you can bring me 3 points. 3 points from Sunday and hopefully a nice cup run tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Thank you for making my dreams come true.
Thanks so much for joining us, I say.
Take care. Bye from the other side.
Bye. Bye from the studio.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Oh, that was our Mag. So her game 2 is where they're running their socials for now. And then they'll be setting up dedicated socials. 13th of October was that other date that Mags mentioned. So if you do want to get involved, then please do check it out. Go down to the Riverside and do get involved, because as well as supporting the club, these are fantastic events. They're great social. They're great for meeting new people. And the one thing about it is, you know that they're all football fans. So you're not mixing with these very strange people who don't like football. Right. So thanks for that, Mags. If you want to get in touch with us, by the way, Facebook, or you can WhatsApp us on 0330 043 2002. Happy to take your predictions for tomorrow night or any questions that you might have. So back to you, sort of formative years, Maz. When you were playing in the streets and, you know, watching the boys playing, did you ever at that time imagine that you would have a career in football like the one you've had?
Absolutely not. No, there was nothing like that you could even, you know, wish for or look up to and think, oh, maybe. Never entered my head at all. And then we just didn't hear of any teams anywhere. I mean, there could have been some in the area, but it wasn't well known. And obviously, there can't have been because they weren't in a league. And it was just like 1976 was the first time I heard of anything.
And yes, so 1976, Cleveland Spartans. How did that all come about?
Well, actually, I was working at Pontin's holiday camp on the south coast at Bracklesham Bay. And my sister sent me a cutting from the Evening Gazette to say that a ladies' team was forming. I think this was probably the end of August, beginning of September. But I was like there until the end of September, beginning of October. So obviously the last month at the holiday camp was kind of me on edge trying to get back. I think they originally started from a five-a-side team. One of the banks, they had a five-a-side competition and they put a women's team in. They decided from their staff, and then more people, from the people that turned up to play in that, they decided they were going to have an 11-a-side team and join a league. So obviously they discovered there were leagues up and down the country that had already been going on for a while, but just none in our area.
Didn't know anything about it.
Yeah. So when I came back in the end of September, beginning of October, I went straight along to see if I could join.
It's funny how the Evening Gazette has this. It was the Evening Gazette that actually got me to my first Middlesbrough game.
Evening Gazette are great for everything. We used to say if you don't see it in the Gazette, it's not true.
Little tiny advert that said, and I'm going back to the late 60s, that said Boro v Liverpool friendly Saturday 3 p.m. Ayresome Park. And my dad and my younger brother, we were thinking what we're going to do at the weekend, and I said, oh look, Liverpool, it's Liverpool. We went. And the rest is history. I fell in love there and then, which is, I think, what you do with football, isn't it?
You certainly do, yeah.
So where did you play, Cleveland Spartans?
Our first ground was where Norton is now, Norton FC, at the end of Station Road. And that was for that first season, that's where we were based. And we were in, I think it was the North Eastern Hull League for the first season. But the two guys who were running it was John Sims and Nigel Empson. And within that first season, they saw something and they decided to get us into a higher league. So they tried to get us into the Nottingham League. So there was a lot of hoo-ha about it because the teams in Nottingham didn't know where Middlesbrough was, whereabout in the country, is that Scotland, and all the usual thing. And they didn't really want to have to travel this far. But we got in there with on the agreement that any cup games we had to play away, whether we were drawn first. So it just meant that anybody we played in that league only came to Middlesbrough once. As in they were thinking mainly of the journey at the time. And I understand that, because obviously we were going the other way all the time.
No,
our nearest home game was Doncaster. So we did a lot of travelling.
But it was obviously worth it.
It was a better league, a much better league. And I would imagine, really, I would say that we did get better because of that, yeah.
And what were the facilities like at Norton and at all these grounds you were travelling to? You know, was there actually proper changing rooms and showers and the like?
Norton was good, yeah. And we did get showers up at different places we go. Some of the teams were based in schools, some at sports areas, or just where there was 2 changing rooms in the middle of a field. And some were good, some were bad. But we always managed, the majority of the time with our team, it was mainly washing all the mud off your legs and your arms. We didn't even go in a shower because either they were freezing cold or they were absolutely disgusting. So it was mainly just getting rid of the mud and being able to travel back. Yeah,
because of course you were doing a lot of travelling. So how was all this paid for? Because obviously you've got kits, you've got travelling, you've probably got league fees.
Yeah.
How did it work out financially?
Same as here. Same as you'll see when kids' teams start up now. We did a famous jumble sale at St Barnabas Church, Middlesbrough, one time, and we were there. And this is way back. We're looking at obviously late 70s, and those people at the door. When we opened the doors, they charged in, and we were like pinned against the wall with tables like in front of us, and really getting stuff. And there was. Remember once there was these 2 women fighting over a pair of shoes, like one had the left foot, one had the right foot, and we were just like gobsmacked, what's going on? But we raised money, made loads of money. We raised by blind cards. We had, funnily enough, we had a lot of people that supported us from working men's clubs, whereas at the time the thing was, women can't play and you should be in the kitchen. But for all the working men's clubs were very, you would say, chauvinistic. They really, really supported us. We played on a lot of our grounds are there, like Steelworks, Beechwood and Easterside, Dormans, Newmask, trying to think, the Hellenshaw. We were all over the place, and they really supported us. So I can thank them all now. If any of the club secretaries are listening, it was great, the support we got. And we had fundraisers at the Cabbage Club, which was Newport and Allotments, and they were brilliant there, the people raising money for us. So it was like just something we did all the time. It
was basically a community effort.
It was, yeah. I mean, obviously we had to pay. We all agreed to pay subs each week, and it was just hiring. Sometimes we went in cars, but sometimes we'd hire minibuses. And there was a lot of support from a lot of people, which was good.
Oh, amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. Got a couple of messages. Got one for you, Maz, from Angie Dawson, who says, go Maz. Do you know Angie?
I know Angie very well.
Well, Angie's obviously watching. And do you know some of these usernames?
Oh.
At Duckfather5615, good evening. On YouTube says, up the Boro, great win on Sunday. Thank you for getting in touch, and thank you for listening as well. We'll go to a break now, and then we'll talk a little bit. We'll carry on from that about what the attitudes to women playing football were like back then and how they're changing.
Are you looking to replace your tired windows and doors? Well, look no further than Brightside Windows. Brightside Windows is a premier provider of high-quality window and door solutions across the region.
Stepping through the
Brightside Windows, the brighter choice for your home. Call now on 01642 989 861. That's 01642 989 861.
Looking for something a bit different in Middlesbrough? Grab the family or round up your mates and take on Cutter Chaos, the town's only 18-hole indoor adventure golf course right in the heart of Boro. We're talking Teesside themed holes, twists, turns and plenty of laughs along the way. And when the competition heats up, cool off at the fully licensed bar. Because this isn't just golf, it's a proper day out. Perfect for families, perfect for mates, and easy on the wallet too. So, who's your putting champion? To book your tea time and check opening hours, head to putterchaos.co.uk. Putter Chaos, Middlesbrough's maddest round of golf.
Drive. You know you want to. So get your kids' driving lessons sorted now with Drive in Middlesbrough. Our award-winning driver training is recognised across the UK, and when they learn to drive with us, they get a pass your driving test guarantee. That means if they don't pass the first test, Drive will pay for their second one, and that's a promise. Let us put your kids in the driving seat. Visit just-drive.co.uk. That's just-drive.co.uk.
Lack of lighting at work caused Nicola to fall and break her arm. She chose Ather & Co. to put things right.
Arm. I couldn't work, couldn't get out of the bath, couldn't get dressed, couldn't drive to my job. I would absolutely recommend Ather & Co. They were brilliant. Done an online inquiry. They rang me the next morning. 6 months till I got my payment. I was happy with it.
Choose the one you know, Ather & Co.
See athers.co.uk.
We need new flooring.
Do we? Says who?
Says me.
Then we need Peter Jackson Carpets and Flooring.
Do we? Says who?
Says me.
And why do you say that?
Because they have a huge range of quality carpets and Amtico LVT flooring. And they're endorsed Amtico fitters, who fit as though they're fitting for themselves.
Then we should go right now.
Says you.
Says me. To the showroom on Portrack Lane.
Search Peter Jackson Carpets and Flooring to find out more.
The Boro Women Hour, brought to you by My Marketing Button, your marketing plan in your pocket.
This is the road.
So we're back. Welcome back. Thank you for listening today. I've got the fantastic Maz, and she's telling us such amazing stories. It's such a fantastic life. That's why we call her a footballing legend on Teesside. Not to embarrass you, but, you know, it's true. You've blazed a trail. That's right, you're a trailblazer. We've just been talking about Cleveland Spartans before we get on to attitudes and things. And you said they've gone through quite a lot of, different name changes and such like before we got to where we are now with being properly affiliated as part of the football club.
Yeah, we were Cleveland Spartans for about 10 years. And I've got to say, probably almost every week of those 10 years, I used to go on at the manager about changing the name and we should be Middlesbrough. And his thing was it was Cleveland. But the two guys who started us off, they fell out at some stage, and we stayed Cleveland Spartans, and half of the girls left and they were Cleveland Ladies. But then they got the name Middlesbrough Ladies before us, and I was devastated for years. But eventually, through sponsorship, we were Boro Electronics, which was like...
oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Madison Ladies, which was great.
Okay, who spent time in the Madison in their misspent youth? I'm putting we're putting our hands up here. I bet there's a few out there did as well.
Yeah. And then we got Middlesbrough Ladies. Oh, we were Cleveland Ladies for a while, then Middlesbrough Ladies, and then eventually I got MFC Ladies, which was the best thing ever for me. Early 2000s, I think it was. And we were kind of, in inverted commas, adopted by the club, so we officially could use the name, we could use the badge, and we used to get their the kits from the first team when they were finished. We would get them, so we all had baggy shirts and baggy shorts, which we loved at the time, but they were genuinely really, really large. And we had training facilities. We got lots and lots of stuff that we didn't have to pay for anymore, so that helped with the finances, although our travelling expenses got higher, obviously, as we were playing further afield. But over the years, we've had some great success. FA Cup, lots of runs. And then at one stage, we were brought back to the northeast by powers that be further afield that wanted us in the northeast region. And we had to leave the league we were in. Came back to the northeast, and probably out of 8 years, we won the league seven of the rows. Maybe 1 year we didn't. We won the cup, the cup, the county cup. We won everything. And although we're totally proud to do it, it wasn't the best for women's football, because the teams that we were beating, we shouldn't have been playing against. And to me, it was hard for them, because you had women that were just playing and it started up, and then we play them in the cup, and it would be a silly score. And like many times I had to go in and just say to them, please don't take this result. You know, carry on, do whatever you're doing. It's just, we've been together for so long. Obviously, we've got more experience. And hopefully it didn't put too many people off, because I wanted more and more teams to be in this area, so we would have a hotbed of football, which I think we have now anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now, of course, the team is an integral part of Middlesbrough Football Club.
Yes, yeah. It was 2-3 years ago when they became part of it, and it's like professional, and they're working their way to full professionalism, I think. Excuse me. And you can see the difference, yeah. Of course it helps to have the best facilities, the best training, and the biggest thing is like when they get injured, they're going to be treated properly, whereas, as everyone knows, amateur football's still people playing now. You know, you get an injury and they tell you to rest. You've got no chance when you're going to go out to work. So yeah, they've got great facilities now, and it's just fantastic to see for women.
And a very supportive club and chairman.
Very sportive, yeah.
Oh,
that's even better.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So going back to when you first started playing, did you said how supportive so many of the working men's club and such likes were, but did you used to encounter people who, because I can remember being a fan, I used to encounter this, particularly at away games, who simply thought women had no place in football and shouldn't be playing football?
Oh yeah, we should have been in the kitchen every Sunday, because obviously we played on a Sunday, and at that time, most of the year clubs turned out at 2:00, and then they go home to get the Sunday dinners, and that would be the thing. You should be in the kitchen making the dinner, and every now and again they'd stop and watch for a while, and then you could hear them muttering and saying, oh you know what, they can play, these women. And they'd stop for a while and they'd realise, but we had a lot of trouble at different times with referees, and they would be making comments all the time.
And they were male referees,
Oh
presumably.
yeah. I mean, I've got to say we had some great referees as well, though. It was just a few that would do that. We had a lot. When I look back now, we did get a lot of good support from men that at the time, in general, it was thought that most men would say, oh, don't do it, you can't do it, get yourselves away. But we did get a lot of good support as well. But it's changed a lot. It's fab now.
Oh, it's amazing. It's very different now. Did it make you angry at the time, or did it just make you much more determined to make a success of it?
Oh, both. I mean, the more they said it to us, the more determined we were. Nothing was going to stop us. It didn't matter what it was. Take this away, take that away. We were just determined, and it was great to have such team spirit. And obviously, as you've had a caller in today, we still meet up now all these years later because the bond is there. And it was that bond of like fighting to be able to play. It's a sport that we all loved as much as anybody does. Like, as you said yourself, you know, once you're hooked on football, that's it.
No, that's it for life, isn't it? Yeah. And I mean, you played for 22 years, you managed for 16, so that's a long spell. Did you gradually notice a shift in attitudes, or was it something that came about suddenly, perhaps with the success of the Lionesses? And I say this every time on this show, it was the women that brought it home and not the men, but we won't dwell on that a lot.
No. You could see little at times, because with me working at MSC Foundation, Middlesbrough Football and Community, the club, I used to run coaching for girls, and it was like 11-year-olds in the old gym at Ayson Park, and I remember seeing some of the dads bring the girls along, and I was thinking, oh, this is fantastic, you know, like they're actually coming along and watching, and they did, and they really enjoyed it. And then when it came to school holidays, like now, I would say to them, right, we're back again in September, see you there. And then this one father had said to me, oh, she won't be coming back. And then, why won't she come back? That's it now, she's going to secondary school, so football's not for girls, she's going to have to do something else. And I was like, this girl was really good, but I thought we'd won the battle, but obviously it still didn't quite get there. However, now the difference is you'll see them everywhere, dads and daughters going as well as mums taking them, and it's just completely different. It's almost on a par with the boys in that it's totally accepted now. But even up until, if you listen to people like Jill Scott, who's obviously half my age, even she and people from her time playing for England, they've got the same kind of story that as a child, you know, oh no, you shouldn't be playing, you're a girl. So it is much more recent. And as you say, the thing that I think totally changed it was the Lionesses. They had been around for quite a while, but then it was the professionalism that was given to them by the FA and the Women's FA joining together, and the difference it made in people wanting to watch them and in their performances. And as you say, once we won the Euro, it was just like, wow. And we got a lot of support, much more then. To be honest, they've kept quite a lot of it since then. I know we've won it twice, so there you go. But by seeing the example there, and for children, young girls, teenagers, any age to look up to, they've got a pathway now. They've had a pathway for a while, and it's great to see. And that's why it's going from strength to strength, I think. And you, back in the day, you wouldn't have really had any role models, whereas now, of course, the girls, you know, on Teesside, they've got yourself. With the Lionesses, you know, we've got Jill Scott, Beth Mead, and others who, you know, really girls these days can look up to and say, actually, I can achieve that. Yeah. I can play for Arsenal, Chelsea. I can even play for Barcelona, because it is now a proven career path. And that makes a massive difference, doesn't it? Yes, yeah, because as you say, like they can almost chart the way forward or what they would like to do. And even apart from playing football, if they didn't make it on the football side, you've got the journalism, you've got reporters, you've got commentators. When you see them all, it's like, wow. Referees, yeah. Physios, managers, coaches. So there's lots of ways in. I mean, mine was never a professional career. And I count myself really lucky that when I got my job with the Boro in 1992, it was Ayresome Park. My son had just started school at Sacred Heart next door, so it couldn't be closer. And there was this opportunity came up for coaching. There was about 5 or 6 positions, and it was called an ET, which was like extra tenner or something at the time to make people to take a chance on it and see if it would work. And I met David Geddes, who was in charge at the time, and he decided, yes, I'll give you a go. And it just went from there. So then I did coaching badges, got the job, went into schools, and at the time we just did 6 weeks of football, like once a week. That was all free for the schools, and it just grew and grew from there. I will let your listeners and viewers into a secret. Our Jimmy was on one of Maz's coaching courses at one time. He'll probably kill me for saying that, but yeah, he was. You probably can't remember him, but yeah. He mentioned something about with me and Frank Spraggan at St Peter's South Bank, which is where we were based there before we got to Hurlinshaw, and then the Hurlinshaw, and then Frank and I went in schools all around Eston, Teesville, South Bank for many years, and then as more people joined us, the same with them as well. Oh, that's amazing. It's amazing. Obviously, the male game was professional. How did you actually come up against any opposition from the male professional players? Did they actually understand how hard you had to work just to play football? Because obviously there's people juggling families, jobs, playing football, whereas they basically, I know they weren't paid the hundreds of thousands they are these days, but they were basically, it was their job and that was it. Yeah, you're right, because, and again, it was us, but also any amateur players are the same, you got to work first. But again, yeah, I had a child to bring up as well, and I had my partner. You're cooking, you're cleaning, you're ironing, you're shopping, training, can you do this, can you do it? And like, I used to go jogging myself, and way back then, you didn't see people jogging. And sometimes I'd have a scarf around my face so that nobody would recognise me. But because I wanted to be fit, I wanted to be super fit so that I could play it to the best of not my ability, but I was that keen to play. And at the time I played centre midfield, I wanted to be involved in everything. So I needed to be really fit. And I went jogging around the streets later at night. And it was just great to do. And probably they didn't realise how much extra we had to do to be able to do that. But But I got a lot of support. I had 3 sisters, so they could look after my son for me. When he was old enough, he was dragged all over with me to games and to training. My partner, Arthur, he's always been very supportive, and really, for him at that time, it was probably a big thing, because he was of the generation where, you know, it's like, oh, you women should be in the kitchen. But he was very supportive. He was actually manager for a short period. I think it was while I was pregnant. But once I was back, that was it.
That was it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, otherwise we'd be arguing all the time. But he's always been very supportive, so that was good, yeah.
And are they all Boro fans?
Oh,
Your
yes.
partner, your son?
Oh, yeah, totally. Same as
Sisters.
me. You cut the vein open and it says
Yeah.
MFC. And you.
And me,
As
yeah.
Boro supporters,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Danny's Hartlepool, but he's just as passionate about Hartlepool.
I totally
are
agree
about
with that.
Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I love to hear anybody, because obviously I've been in schools for years and years and hundreds of children, and when they say Hartlepool or Darlington, I love it, because that's their team, and I'd be the same. That would be my team. And then if you liked Chelsea or Man U as well, that's okay, but as long as you support your own hometown team,
Yeah, I
that's
must
to be
admit,
first.
I don't like to see Man United or Man City or whatever shirts walking around the town
No.
unless they're with the away fans. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So England, you're an international. You were an international. Can you remember when and how you actually discovered, because obviously I think they get a phone call or a text these days, that you'd been selected to play for England?
It was by post. It was a letter.
Oh, wow.
I think we went down to, I think it was Warminster, to a barracks, army barracks, and it was like a weekend of training and fitness. And at the time, there was a new manager, Martin Regan, who was from York. We actually played for the Boro in the 50s, although I didn't know that at the time. So it was kind of like more of a chance in theory, because before that it just seemed to be the same people from the same southern teams. We'd never even known about the England like trials or anything. So we went down, and some girls from Doncaster Bells, which was like one of the really strong teams. And fortunately, he saw something in me, and I was selected. But it was a letter that came, and it just gave you details of, you're in the squad, this is where we're going to meet. And it was Belgium away, so I was over the moon. It was an away trip. And then I had to find my way down to wherever we were meeting. It could have been London. And meet up with the rest of the squad there. And at the time I was working at Hills Bakers, which was a big family for years, wasn't it?
Bakers, yeah.
And I was thinking, how am I going to get it? I had to get time off work. So the son, David was about, he's probably about my age. And I knew he was a rugby fan. So I'd gone to him and asked him, was it all right if I could take 3 days off work? He asked me why. Because I just needed the time off. And anyways, of course you can. And he was that good about it. He was that pleased. He just said, he gave me, obviously paid as well. I mean, to be paid to be off, it was just unheard of at the time. So there was a lot of support there as well. And then it was a case of, probably I got a national coach down to London, met up with them. We went across on a ferry, and it was just fantastic.
What did it feel like putting that shirt on and coming out on the pitch for the first time?
I'm very passionate about the England shirt. I know there's big discussions, different people now, but I'm still passionate about it. And when I see somebody playing for England, I expect them to be passionate as well about it. And if you're not, then get the shirt off and get lost.
Yeah,
and that's not what I say when I'm shouting at the telly. Because when I see them, I always sing the national anthem. If you don't agree with whoever's there, then just sing God Save Our Team if you want, but sing something. Because if you don't want to do that, then I don't understand why you're there playing for England. So I am passionate about that. And it did make me cry when I was singing it. And even now, like when it came to Middlesbrough, there was a game at Middlesbrough.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, against Brazil, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
And I was doubly crying because it was like my team, Middlesbrough.
It was a sellout as well,
It
wasn't
was,
it?
yeah.
I can remember.
And for a while we held the
taking
records.
my mum, because she was still alive then, and she absolutely adored it.
It was a great night.
it was.
People came from all over. It was fabulous to see. So yeah, I'm passionate about the England thing. Yeah.
And what can you remember about Belgium away?
Wow. We were there I remember going round, we all had red tracksuits on, and we went to a civic reception at the town hall in Bruges, I think it was. We were in a hotel at Ostend, and then the next thing we were on this pitch and the national anthem was there. There's not many photographs, because obviously nothing was really recorded very well then. I've got one or two that I had a little camera, then somebody took it for me, but not a lot. We got beat 2-1, but he was quite happy with a lot of the performances that night. And then when we came back, it was played against Wales, and that was Warminster again. That was a 6-1 win, I think. And then the third time I played was actually at Leicester City's ground, Filbert Street, and we played against Sweden, an evening game. I didn't start that, but I came on as sub, and that was like completely different because you were playing at a proper football league ground.
Yeah, proper stadium.
Yeah. So good memories of that, and yeah, very proud.
Quite rightly so. Right, we'll go to a break, and then after the break, we'll have a quick chat about the 1982 Cup final. And then, and people out there might not believe this, Maz will tell us about the trip to North Korea.
The Boro Women Hour, brought to you by My Marketing Button, your marketing plan in your pocket.
This is the road.
Meet Martin.
Hello.
Martin used to wake up in a cold sweat, worrying how his business would make its next sale.
I'd have nightmares that we were falling and failing.
But these days, Martin sleeps like a baby.
'Cause now we climb and conquer.
Climb and Conquer are a results-driven agency that help businesses like yours to grow through search, paid social, and email. Their team of industry-leading experts can help your business outrank competitors, capture market share, and drive revenue. Search Climb and Conquer to find out more. Climb and Conquer, the high-performance marketing agency.
Pitch Sports Bar opens soon, and we'll be showing all the big games live on our massive 7-metre LED screen. It's almost game time. Middlesbrough's new home of sport will be the place to meet, eat and experience all the highs and the lows of your favourite teams. Discover more at pitchsports.bar. Every fan, every sport, one pitch. Pitch Sports Bar.
We need new flooring.
Do we? Says who?
Says me.
Then we need Peter Jackson Carpets and Flooring.
Do we? Says who?
Says me.
And why do you say that?
Because they have a huge range of quality carpets and Amtico LVT flooring. And they're endorsed Amtico fitters, who fit as though they're fitting for themselves.
Then we should go right now.
Says you.
Says me. To the showroom on Portrack Lane.
Search Peter Jackson Carpets and Flooring to find out more.
Take your taste buds on a culinary journey at Rio Brazilian Steakhouse and Tomahawk Steakhouse. Prepare for a carnival of South American flavors at Rio Brazilian Steakhouse as you dine on prime steaks cut and cooked the Brazilian way. And where can we take you on your meats journey? Find out at Tomahawk Steakhouse, home to the authentic meat connoisseurs. 2 top restaurants, 1 big choice. Which to choose first? See Rio-Steakhouse or tomahawk-steakhouse.co.uk.
Injured at work? Wondering if it's worth making a claim? Here's what Ather & Co.'s clients say.
Within 9 months, I received 8,250.
6 months till I got my payment. I was happy with it.
The outcome was I won my claim. Just over 2 years.
I would absolutely recommend Ather & Co.
Choose the one you know, Ather & Co.
See athers.co.uk.
You're listening to the Boro Women Hour, brought to you by My Marketing Button, your marketing plan in your pocket.
This is the road.
Maz, tell us about meeting royalty.
Oh yes, I think it was 1997. Prince Charles came to the Riverside, and it was to do with the Prince's Trust or Duke of Edinburgh Award, something like that. So he was mainly coming to see like older ones that were there, but myself and Frank Spraggan, we had 2 groups of probably 11-year-old children, and we were doing football skills just at one end of the pitch. And he actually came along with Steve Gibson and somebody else as well, I can't remember, and came along to speak to us. Obviously, there was a lot of press there. And when he was talking to me, I just said to him, "Don't you play rugby more than football?" And he said, "Oh, no, we played some football." So then the press was saying, sir, kick the ball. So then he was saying, oh, so I said, you don't have to do this. We got no. So he was there, he had his arms out for balance, and I was showing out like that. Put him out for balance, he used the inside of his foot, and it was perfect. And there's pictures of that, and then my husband, he loves it, says that I taught the king to play football, which I didn't, because he already knew how to kick it, but he likes to say that. But he was very good. Unfortunately, the press weren't too good to him the next day. I mean, I think they called him a right Charlie or something like that. But the picture they put in showed him clearly the inside of the foot, swinging his leg and his arms out for balance. So I was quite impressed with him.
So he could have made a player if he wasn't king, potentially.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
So let's take you back to 1982.
Yep.
Cleveland Spartans, I think as they were now, are in the Women's FA Cup final.
Yep.
Playing at Loftus Road, which is a story in itself. Was that a really big deal for the club to be in the FA Cup final?
It was massive. I don't think we realised at the time how big it was, because obviously you've got to the final, you've played lots of big games, but it really was. It was probably should have been the best day of our lives to remember, but it was all a little bit rushed. Queen's Park Rangers were chosen, we were kicking off at 12:30, and then there was going to be a game afterwards, their normal league game. But obviously it was a AstroTurf pitch, the first one, proper plastic, and when the ball bounced on it, it kind of went about 8 feet in the air and over your head. But it was very rough. If you slid on the surface, it would took your skin off, and for the people who did, they had weeping wounds for like weeks after. But in the end, it was such an advantage for QPR that they had to take it up at the end of that season, because I don't know if they lost any games at home, but all the teams complained in the men's league about it, so they had to take it up. Shame for us in that it was a one-off and we didn't have the footwear. One or two of us did, but our opposition, Lowestoft, they'd got a grant or something and £3,000, and every single player had special AstroTurf boots on. But it was a great experience for us. We hit the bar first, or the post, and then they took the lead, a mistake, and then the game went on. We had a few chances, but in the end we got beat 2-0. But before that, the build-up was on the Friday. We had teachers who were part of our team. They couldn't leave school till after 3. It was a Beeline coach, which was
I remember the old Beeline buses.
Broke down at Nottingham at 9 o'clock that night. They had to wait 3 hours for another one. Got to London in the early hours. The hotel we'd booked was full of rugby league supporters. Their final was the next day, so they were up till 6 in the morning in the bar. There was lots of things that you just wouldn't, you'd be nowhere near. But you just get on with it. Got up the next day, got to the thing. It was great playing the game, seeing your name up on the scoreboards, the team, and it's something we will remember forever. But I think all the things leading up to it was people would say, "You're joking, it couldn't have happened," but it did. But that was it then. That's what you did. Nothing would have stopped us doing anything to do with football, and you just whatever obstacle was in the way, we just got over it.
And you can always say you're one of the few really, when you think about how many people play football, players that has played in an FA Cup final.
Absolutely, yeah, fantastic, yeah.
Something
great
else
memories
to be proud of.
Yeah.
Talking about being proud of, North Korea. I mean, it's not a destination you generally think of for a football team, never mind a women's football team, to go and play. So tell us all about that. How did it come about? What was the experience like?
I'd got an email when I was at work. It had come through to me, and I read it. It said something about North Korea and going to North Korea. So I kind of ignored it, thinking, it's just junk. What is it? Anyway, maybe a month or two later, something else. And I got in touch with Dave Allen, who was in the media at Middlesbrough FC then. And I just said, I've got... And I was telling him, and he said, oh, yeah, I got one as well. He said, it's genuine. I'm going, you're joking? He said, no. I went, oh, yes. My answer's yes. Straight away without thinking about it. Just to travel for me. Anyway, when it all came about, there was somebody that was sponsoring it. And it was to celebrate 10 years of diplomacy between Great Britain and North Korea. because we had an embassy in Pyongyang, and they'd been there for 10 years, so it was billed as football and friendship. So we just said yes. In the end, we only had 14 players available that could go. We could have done with a few more. We set off at 4 a.m. from Longlands, Liberties on Longlands. We got to Heathrow early in the morning. There was cameras, interviews. We flew from there to Moscow. We had to get off at Moscow and then fly to Beijing. Got met at the international airport by lots of cameras and photographers. And then we flew from there to Pyongyang. But we already knew we'd met with the people from Koryo Tours. The guy, Nick Bonner, he'd done a documentary with the North Korean players who played at Aysan Park in '66, and he brought them over in 2002. So it was him that was doing part of it as well. And we'd been briefed, and they gave us a list of things that we shouldn't do. But I already agreed. I don't know about the girls, but I agreed straight away that we would leave our phones at the airport, like mobile phones, because mine had been going 24 hours non-stop. And we knew that. And obviously some press reports were saying they took the phones off us at Pyongyang. They didn't. We knew we were going to do it. It was all... There was lots of to and fro, and I always want straight away, we need to look around Pyongyang when we're there, like don't have us like away from it. I said, oh yeah. And then just before we were going, there was an email saying, oh, you can't do the tour of Pyongyang, it won't fit in. And then I just thought, I'm not travelling halfway around the world to not see that city that we're in. So I just said, oh, well, we were going into a school with some school kids. I just said, no, we'll cancel the school one. I had no intention of doing it. So obviously they were all, oh, I can't do that. We got our little tour around. We did it all. And it was like, it was a whirlwind because we travelled halfway around the world without much sleep. And we got there on the first night, and they have this thing called the Arirang. And it's like the opening of the Olympics or something. But they had 100,000 people performing. And it's on every year, and we were guests of honour. And most of the girls were falling asleep. And there's nothing I could do about it because it was... Well, we've had no sleep, but it was fabulous. We had guides with us. Obviously, they were keeping an eye on us. We travelled across the city to train. It was very interesting watching the people. They had a lot of places that looked like European places. Like we went to a pizza restaurant in the end, but that wasn't normal at that time. But there was only one main hotel in the centre of Pyongyang, but they took us to the sports area, which was about 20 minutes away. But at that time there was only one. But having seen in later years, what they call him, Michael Palin's Travels, it was completely different. They've got loads of hotels, but it was great. We went to a small area for our first game. It was full, and their people were so welcoming to us. Like we went round, we got beat 6-2 in the end, but they had the Boro up on the
There's probably
scoreboard.
still Boro fans in North Korea now.
There will be
because of that. Yes,
we were winning 2-1 at half time. Anyway, they were clapping us and they were throwing things and we were shaking their hands, and it was just so nice. And the second team we played, it was very similar again. Afterwards they were saying, oh, come on, we're going. I'm saying, no, we're going right round here, and we're shaking people's hands because it was great to see it. Completely different to our way of life, although maybe a little bit better now, I'm not sure. But never at any time did I feel under any kind of threat of any kind, and I was allowed to film. We took a camera in, we could film. And then the teams mixed with us afterwards, after both games, which we didn't expect. We'd been told that they won't let them mix with you. And through interpreters, and just the girls, they had phones, but obviously they didn't have internet. And they were all taking photos with each other, and they were just like us, except they lived in a country where it's completely different with no freedom. But they played, they wanted to mix, they laughed, they joked, they sang, they loved karaoke. And then on the last night there was a big dinner for us, and they got up and they sang one of their songs, and it was so sincere and so serious. And then they asked us to get up, and I was thinking, we didn't expect it. So I got us all up and I just said, we got no choice, we'll have to sing You Are My Boro, My Only. And that's what we had to sing in the end.
Oh, fantastic.
So
that's amazing. But that does demonstrate, doesn't it, the universality of football.
Yes.
And how it brings two completely different, because the relationship was forged in '66.
Yeah.
And I'm
Of course
guessing that was why
that
you
was
were
the link.
team invited over.
I think originally they might have wanted Middlesbrough, the men's team, to go, but they couldn't at the time for all kinds of reasons. We took stuff from the mayor of Middlesbrough, different things. We went into places like Bins and Debenhams and got all the little perfume, the samples, and we made up little bags to give to them to exchange, because obviously they didn't have like deodorants, perfume, things like that, which we thought would be nice for them, so we were able to give them gifts. And it was just lovely. Yeah, we had a really warm, welcoming time there. And then we met the Sir Peter Hughes, who was the in Pyongyang, the British embassy.
Oh, the ambassador.
Yeah, that's the ambassador.
Yeah.
And he had a little reception for us, and they were all asking him things. And he said, I'll be going to see the Queen when I get back in October. And they're going, are you going to tell her about us, like? And he said, I am, actually. So they were quite happy about that, the girls.
Oh, what an experience, that football's brought you a fantastic life, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Doing something that you absolutely love.
Yeah. I've got into
your work and your playing.
Yes,
and managing.
yeah. I would never have thought I'd be able to do that, and it just kind of fell into my hands because I played football, because I coached, because I was so probably passionate. And then the other thing was, yes, we want more to be able to. Why can't the girls play? Why can't the women play? And it doesn't matter if you've got a house, you've got family, and that you can still do it because you're determined, and that's what it was.
And just finally, because we're almost there, I can't believe it. I've got another hour's worth of questions here, but we've got our Dave Eden here. He's just run out the door. We've got Dave waiting to come on at 7. But would you change your experience to be a footballer today?
I've had this discussion with people younger than me, and I've also had it with my teammates who I still meet up with every now. Like we keep in touch, and I've got to put my hand on heart and be totally honest and say, not a chance would I change anything. They can keep as much money as they get now. I'm not interested in that. What we went through and the team spirit and all the experiences, you couldn't buy it. So I'd never change a thing. Whether it was hard or not doesn't matter, but the pleasure, the joy, the passion that I got from doing it, never stopped to think twice about anything. No, I would never change it.
That's a brilliant way to finish. Thank you so much, Maz, for being with us today. I feel as though later in the season we might have to get you back to ask you some more questions. Don't forget, tomorrow night, commentary on Durham Sestria, the Boro women in the Cup from 7. And before that, we've got the two legends, Higgy and Hendry, from 6. Dave is next. He's coming up with the Garden of Eden. He'll be keeping you royally entertained. And I'll be back in 11 hours' time. I'll be back at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. So do join me. And thanks for being with us. And I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.
That's the Boro Women Hour. Brought to you by My Marketing Button. Your marketing plan in your pocket.
This is the bird.
On your radio, smart speaker, app and